G'day! Today's video I'm having a bit of an unboxing and turn on of a Micady DP4 6.8 or 6.86 inch display. This one here. So hopefully with a bit of luck, I don't know if there's much on the box itself that says otherwise, other than PD4 written here. We have foam, one screen. I'll open that in a sec. What do we have here? Johnny H, eh? Cheers, Johnny H. Bracket of some variety. Whether or not that can be screwed, probably taped like that. What do we have? We have audio cable, 3.5mm. Had a guess, probably about a 2 meter cable. One power adapter here, which I may or may not be using depending on how much power it requires. What do we have? Input 12 volt, wire 12 volt 2.4 amps. Feels a bit dodgy. 12 volt. Do not charge your phone. Good advice. And it's got a USB there for charging. Don't know what it'll be rated at. Surprisingly, a bit of paperwork. Bluetooth connection. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, AirPlay link. Now, so it does look like it has a inbuilt FM or built-in speaker and an FM transmitter, an auxiliary cable. So I'd probably go via the auxiliary cable in my particular use case. But it's handy that it does have an inbuilt speaker and also the auxiliary port and the FM transmitter. 3 different ways to be able to play. Now let's have a look at the device itself. Looks just fine. Looks like a small little screen. We have a power button on top, built-in speakers I'm assuming here. 12 volt 3 amp. Look back at here, 12 volt 2.4. So I wasn't quite sure what it wants. Looking underneath, what do we have? SD card slot, AV in, auxiliary and type C. Dual microphones maybe if we're lucky. Curious if this was run off 5 volt 2 amp. Doubtful. But that would make it a lot easier in my use case. Let's get some power to this. Now, plug some power in here. So I've just plugged in 5 volt. What do we got here? 5 volt, 0.6 amp. Please connect to Bluetooth. So I'll give that a try. Car BTC. Yeah, I don't think that's the pin that it's coming up with. It's completely ignored that. Allow. Now if I cut it, it might be because some personal information comes up.
I've been singing your song.
That's cool. It's popped straight up with Android Auto. I use YouTube Music. Map slightly laggy over here. But that went better than expected. Tap on here, see notifications. Cut that. Quick way to show notifications if I go Q. The screen itself does feel a bit laggy, but it very well may be that I'm only running it at 5 volt. so I'm not going to put it down to the machine. But all I really wanted it for was to be able to play my music. That's going to do that just fine. Hell, if you just want this as a little thing on your desk, you could potentially get away with that. Just have your music loading up there. Not sure what else we'd be able to have. Yeah, scrolls through. Not bad. That's going to do more than I was expecting it to do. Now, what do we got here on the bracket? There. Tighten this up. Which way do we need to go? There. And one stand. I'll just try and... There we go. Bingo. So that's surprisingly working better than I would expect. I will put it in the car and a bit of a try and do a bit more of a thorough review of my thoughts on this little Android screen. So far, not bad. Not bad, not bad. So I've just been tinkering for a little bit and I've kind of butchered a bit of dash. I've got it protruding through. And then I forgot the angle of it's a bit too low, so it's not quite angled up high enough that I would prefer. But I'm going to have to live with it. The issue is I'm going to need a 90-degree audio cable, because right now it'll work, but I'd say that's probably going to fail fairly quickly. Or it's going to rattle around a bit more. I'm going to go put this in the car with the adapter that I've got here. See how it turns out. So I've now got it installed in my car. When you first turn it on, screen 1, screen 2. So that's the current setup that I've got, where I've got the cables routed around the back and going down here and working their way over here. Now we'll just turn off the music. I do find the audio quality to be slightly disappointing. I do find it doesn't seem as bassy as playing through the original stereo. So I'm not sure what's going on there. It may just be a placebo effect, but that's what it does feel like to me. I do find it does heat up a little bit at the top, at the back. So right now in Australia, in Victoria, it's not too toasty. Most days in summer, probably getting up to about 40 degrees in the sun. This is going to be absolutely cooking. So I'm curious to see how this will go in the long term in this region, especially being that it's going to be fairly toasty. Being that on these 20-degree days, I put my hand up here and it feels like it's already 30, 40 degrees. So I'm curious on very hot days how it's going to go. I do find the screen to be fairly dim as well. Right now, parked under a carport, it's perfectly fine and viewable. Same with the screen down here. But driving around, I find that there's no anti-glare coating on here, so that combined with a relatively low brightness, so it's probably similar to 200, 250 nits, which isn't overly great, but it's pretty low. But overcast weather or nighttime, it's going to be perfectly fine. I find the navigation of it to be just fine. I'm assuming it's very similar to most Android Autos, where I was able to turn the brightness up by going, "Hey Google, turn brightness up." So I'll probably try and do that now. Map nav. So it does feel like there's a slight delay navigating the map. So the touch response isn't that great, but for the price of the device, it's perfectly fine, being I'm going to be rarely touching the screen. The most I'm really touching it for is going to queue and then picking a different song to play, where it does feel slightly delayed as I'm doing that. But the connection time that it does connect up to the phone is pretty swift. If I turn this off right now, car's off, turn it back to on. So it comes up with car player. It does come up with this screen. When I did pair my phone, I did not use the code *000. And bam, we're talking to the phone already. So the response time of it to actually connect up is pretty much on par with most things I would usually expect. The mic, I haven't really had any voice calls on here, but just general navigation of it does seem to be fine. So for something simple, for 60 bucks so far, I'm pretty happy. I don't know what the overall lifespan of it's going to be, especially in the Australian heat. Especially these temperatures up here get absolutely ridiculous in the sun. So 40-degree days, no cloud cover, and it's sitting on a dash, it's going to be cooking. So overall lifespan is yet to be determined. I wish there was a bit of an anti-glare coating on here. It does have this fake bordered look to it, but the screen does go all the way to the edge, so it is a square panel that's in there, not a rounded panel. I don't know if I can capture it on film, a bit hard, a bit more easier on this side. You can see the black going all the way to the edge. Yeah, apart from the anti-glare coating, the lack of brightness, slight delay in response time, just sluggish looking animations, for the price that I paid for it, I'm pretty happy with it. It's going to do the job that I want, which is basically giving me audio, Bluetooth audio via aux, and the ability to pick my songs, with a slight bonus of having maps always getting shown. I think I paid around $67 Australian delivered from AliExpress. The device itself is rather fine. The stand itself, I'm not too sure, as I have modified my top here, and I've completely modified the stand to actually be able to just go directly on here. The weight of it's perfectly fine. Should be able to pretty much adapt it to anywhere. I wish these came out at a 90 degree. I did want this slightly lower. Originally it was going to be further back up here, but that would be too far to reach for the buttons. But right now they are a little bit of a stretch, but left hand I can pretty much tap what I need while I'm driving just fine. Or if that was further back, I'd be really reaching out to touch it. Yeah, I wish the stand was a bit lower. I wish these were maybe on the side of it or just coming directly out the back of it. Coming out the bottom of it, as you can see, I need to get a 90 degree bend on my audio cable rather than a straight. Type C would have struggled to plug in as well, but I did have a 90 degree bend Type C floating around. So there may be some dilemmas there. But overall, for the price that I paid, so far so good. Overall lifespan, I guess we'll find out. I might do a follow-up video in this in about 3 to 6 months, just to let you know how it's gone, especially right now it's December in Australia, it's going to get hot. So, and then I'll find out some other quirks that I might or like and dislike about it. For now, I'll catch you later. Bye.